Hello, friends, and welcome to Co-Parenting Simplified, the Fayr way. I'm Michael Daniels. I'm the founder and CEO of the co-parenting app Fayr, which stands for Family Advocacy is Your Responsibility. This is our third installment of just a weekly conversation we want to have with co-parents everywhere. Feel free to message in with any questions. And I'm joined here today with Susan Guthrie. She's the founder of the Divorce and Beyond podcast, and Gabrielle Hartley, who is the founder of the Better Apart Method. And Gabrielle, why don't you introduce our special guest today? We're very excited to have.
I would be very happy to introduce Jennifer Giamo, is an NSCA certified personal trainer with a master's degree in nutrition education, and she's a certified corrective exercise specialist. Based out of New York, Jen has been professionally affecting positive change in people's lives for nearly 20 years. After several years spent managing corporate fitness programs for some Fortune 500 companies on the East Coast, Jen started her own fitness consulting business that specializes in total health and wellness. From in-home personal training to online nutrition coaching to small group classes, Jen leads a team of experts specializing in all areas of fitness while still actively coaching clients herself. Jen has appeared on Live with Kelly and Ryan, as well as The Rachel Ray Show, and has received press for her innovative programs such as Fresh Start Fitness and Breakup Bootcamp. These programs have helped countless heal and thrive after experiencing painful breakups. Jen's love of animals also led her to create Fitness Unleashed, a charitable program designed for dogs and for humans. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hi.
Welcome, Jen. So good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I love the, honestly, you have some of those catchy programs you've come up with. I love the Breakup Boot Camp. That's just rolled out really well, right?
Thanks.
And Jen is just, I love following your stuff, Jen, the ones you recently posted on how to work out with your pets, giving them treats. It's really, really cute. I just encourage everybody to go follow Jen Giamo.
Yeah, I like that
classic
also.
Italian name. Love it. Spelled Giamo.
Yeah, and two ends on Jen.
I love
two ends on Jen.
Unleashed. That makes me really laugh.
I have to say, I've known you for a couple of years, Jen, and I didn't know you had Fitness Unleashed. I love that.
I also did not know you had Fitness Unleashed. I'd like to, sometimes we want to leash our children. Just kidding. Too many weeks in pandemic. What can I say?
Yeah. So, well, I have to, we can see why you have Fitness Unleashed. You have Milo and wait, Murray. I was thinking Marvin, and I'm like, it's not Marvin, Murray. So if you do follow Jen on Instagram, you're going to get to know them pretty well as well. They're pretty cute. But and then I see you every day. I've got you going on there she is, everybody. I work out with Jen. You can work out with Jen too.
I have to start
on the Playbook app.
Thank you, Susan. I have to start posting more on Playbook. I've been like a little.
Oh, it just makes me happy to see your smiling face there and those abs of steel.
Yeah, right.
So sweet. Thank you.
So, Jen, what can you share with us about, especially right now, everyone's being forced to stay at home. I mean, and for you, I mean, there's no shame in your game. You've got, you're staying in great shape. Like there's, go ahead.
I'll share with you full transparency. I gained 11 pounds during the quarantine, and it's almost gone now, I'm happy to say. But like everybody else, I was just doing whatever the hell I felt like doing with my food, which was eating everything in sight. So that's been tamed now. But it's tough. It's hard because everyone's home. You know, like I know for me, if I'm sitting at the computer working, I'll get up and I'll go grab a snack. I'll sit down again. So there's a lot of sitting and there's a lot of going to the kitchen. But there are also a lot of online workouts. I mean, as Susan just showed you, there's Playbook, where I host a lot of my own workouts. I'm also right now going through, I'm taking a yoga certification course to become a 200-hour certified yoga teacher. So I've been trying to stay in shape with that. And then, like you said, I've got some workouts with my dogs, which is going to become a little bit of a series every week where people can work out with their pets. So I don't know. It's, everyone's in a different situation. Some people are working still from home, and so they're super busy. So it's hard to get up and get a workout in, but some people aren't. Some people are just kind of furloughed or they're laid off or whatever the case may be, and they have plenty of time. So then there's no excuse. Those are the people that need to call me and we can do some one-on-ones. But seriously, even for people who are working at home, I think that I've started doing these little like micro workouts where, I also have fitness equipment all over the house, kind of strewn in different places. So every time I walk by something, I literally will stop and I'll do like 10 minutes of an exercise before I sit down again, because most of the day, unfortunately, I'm used to living in New York City where I walk, hours and hours on end, and then I do my exercise. So without that, and I honestly think that's how I gained the weight in the beginning, was that I wasn't moving around at all. And I was just doing that 1 hour once a day, which wasn't enough. So
I have a question for you. I have actually 2 questions for you. Number one, I am really curious if you have like some like actionable tip for like people who like just feel like they can't freaking get out of bed again, and it's another day of either like having to do work with their kids that the kids don't want them to teach, or just getting, motivated to do their job when everything seems pointless. If they're getting in that like negative swirl, do you have some like sort of lift me up workouts?
I do. One of the tips that I have, and not everyone loves this idea. I was just telling a client today because she was asking me the exact same thing. She's actually on the West Coast and she's working with people on the East Coast. So that time difference, she feels like she can never get ahead of things. So my suggestion is that you wake up an hour earlier than you normally would. And what I like to do, and I've actually been doing this, is setting a routine for myself. I write it down. I have a whiteboard. I'm also a gigantic nerd, but I have a whiteboard where I write down like the times of everything. And I think with kids that are homeschool, with parents that are homeschooling kids, I know a lot of my girlfriends are doing this. They're actually keeping a schedule of subjects throughout the day that they're teaching or they're helping to monitor. So I don't know. For me, I think getting up, even if it's a half an hour earlier, I do a meditation in the morning. I do a quick 10-minute meditation to kind of get me motivated to start my day. And it just puts me in a good mood. And then there are super quick, like I was saying, these little micro workouts, these little 10-minute things that I like to do throughout the day, where it's just getting up, standing up, maybe walking outside with the dogs, do like a little loop around the block and come back just to get some fresh air. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be a focused, 1 hour workout. It could just be these little tiny things that you do throughout the day.
And so this is like such a basic question, so you guys might all know the answer, but what is Playbook? I never even heard of that before.
Oh, so Playbook is just a platform where you can access all different workouts. So I think it's like $99 for the year. Susan, is that right? $99
yep. I think I had a discount code from you, but
of course you have a discount code.
Yes. I'm happy to give out a discount code after this Facebook Live. Yeah, and you can go on and you can do anyone's workouts. So like if I sent you the link, you would link to my page, you'd see all my workouts, but then you can pick and choose if you want to do yoga, if you want to do, a CrossFit kind of workout, if you want to do like a boxing workout. There's all different trainers on there that offer different workouts. So it's pretty cool. It's like a pretty good bang for your buck.
So your workout is Fresh Start Fitness, right? And then you have trainers in transit is what you do when you're going to people's houses or their apartments or doing one-to-one. So the Fresh Start Fitness program, what's like your secret sauce? What's your, brand of exercise? What makes you different from the rest? Answer any of those questions. I know strike is compound. I got that.
My God. All right. That's a lot.
Sorry.
That's okay. I think what makes the program different is that you get, so Fresh Start Fitness is a 4-step program, and you get like a little taste of all the different, for me, the different ways, and you guys know this, I went through like a pretty horrible divorce a few years ago, and that's what kind of like spurred me to create this program. And it's all the steps that I went through when I was going through my divorce. So it's meditation. It's 4 audio meditations that are all led by me, guided meditations. And they kind of are done in a progression. There's 4 yoga videos, which are taught by one of my yoga teachers who's amazing. And again, they're like kind of short, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I think 40 minutes is the longest yoga class that's on there. Then we have strength and cardio, which are also all taught by me. same thing. The longest one I think is 35 minutes. And then we have a nutrition workbook. So it's like all the different components of a healthy lifestyle, like a pretty well-rounded, comprehensive approach to wellness. And it's not intimidating. It's nothing that you have to do, you know, every single day. You can take one step and do it, you know, the meditations if you want for 4 weeks, you know, start the next step in the second 4 weeks and then the next and the next. So it's kind of designed to be taken in really small pieces. And so I think that makes a difference. I think there's not a lot of things out there that incorporate all of those under one platform.
Like it's sort of like an umbrella, like a suite of things to help guide you, move you through physically and mentally,
exactly,
to stay calm when you're in the swirl of the chaos.
Yeah. So there's, you know, it's all guided by me, and there's actually a video component to each step that introduces you to the step. So if you feel like skipping it, if you're like, oh God, I don't know what she's talking about, I'm going to skip to the next one, you can skip it. I encourage you to listen to my wise words, but I mean, there are workbooks, there's goal setting, you can download a journal and you can keep notes. Like I ask little journal prompts, questions after every video that you do. So you can do it like full on, or you can kind of take it however
and does it take you from like hot mess through to moving on? You know what I mean?
Yes, it totally does. And I was the poster child for hot mess. Yeah. So.
I was poster child hot mess.
There's a lot of hot messes out there. You're not alone, Jen. You are not.
Well,
alone.
and that actually that makes me think, because as you're talking about that one, you were on my former podcast and we've known each other for a while now, and you've been really open about how difficult your divorce was and where it took you emotionally. Which was, you described it once as, I see you sitting there with the dogs, that, you know, just getting out of bed in the morning, some mornings was very difficult for you. And it strikes me that in COVID, with people, you know, who are facing divorce, having trouble co-parenting, all of the things that are going on right now, the stress either of being in the same household with someone that they're not getting along with. And I have clients who are doing that, and it's very, very stressful. Or when they're not in the same household, but they're trying to co-parent, and that's been a disaster under COVID. You know, the other thing with exercise, and one of the things I always thought, you know, was brilliant about your message, was that exercise is a path out of that stress, or a coping mechanisms for that stress. And it strikes me that right now, more than ever, people need that outlet.
Absolutely.
It's
a huge stress reliever. I mean, thankfully I'm not co-parenting anyone. I'm a single mom to these two.
Yeah.
But it's all good. But yeah, I mean, it's the whole premise behind this started out as exactly that, was stress reduction. It was nothing about, you know, there's all these programs out there that are revenge body and, you know, even Breakup Boot Camp. It started out kind of like tongue in cheek like that, but it really was more about getting people together who were going through the same thing and how to just get rid of some of that stress and the anxiety and all that stuff, and then feel good about yourself too. It's just sort of a byproduct of it.
I mean, I think maybe you could speak to it. I'm definitely not somebody who's very well educated in it, but I mean, I'm sure there are chemicals that are released as a result of the daily exercise, getting your heart rate up. I mean, do you know much about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. You're releasing serotonin, all those endorphins, all those like good hormonal chemicals. And in the process, you're also combating the negative stress hormones like cortisol. So, and even sleep plays a big part of that too. So for me, like Susan said, I wasn't sleeping. It's funny because I wasn't getting out of bed, but I actually wasn't sleeping when I was in bed. And so, yeah, there was a lot of stress there. I wasn't eating all of that. I mean, the good nutrition, all those antioxidants that you get from healthy food, all those things boost your mood. You know, even now with COVID, I just wrote an article about foods that boost your immune system. So it's a real thing.
So run us through a morning for you. Like you wake up, what's the first thing? Some people say drink 2 cold glasses of water first. Other people say not cold. You know what I mean? And then they say do a quick workout. What do you recommend in the morning?
there's different theories around that. Yeah, the idea behind the cold water is that it takes your body, your body has to heat up the water, so you're burning calories while your body's heating up the water, so cold water is good. It's loosely based in science. But either way, a huge glass of water. That's how I start my day. I honestly do. I'm not practice what I preach. I'm starting to again now. So yeah, getting up in the morning, huge glass of water. I do my workout. I bought a treadmill during this time, so if I don't get outside with the dogs, which even if I get outside with the dogs, it's kind of hard to get an actual workout in with them because they're running in different directions and stuff. But I'll jump on the treadmill for half an hour before my first client. I'll teach a quick class. And then later in the day, I'll finish the rest of that run. So maybe I'll do 3 miles in the morning, 3 miles in the afternoon. I'm not saying that this is for everyone. This is not how you need to plan your day, but you're asking what my day looks like. So this is it. And then in between that, I'm all about nutrition and watching what I eat because I wasn't in the beginning of this. And I saw what that did to my, physically gaining weight, but then to my mental health. I was miserable. I was definitely not fun to be around. Luckily, no one is around me. But yeah, so I do protein shake after my workout. My lunch is usually at like 2 p.m, and I do either like a quick salad or I have like grilled veggies from the night before. I'm a big leftover person because when I cook, I always make more than I eat. So I eat my leftovers kind of throughout the week. So that was probably more of an answer than you needed to know, but
I see our friend Wendy Sterling has joined us. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Jen, I want to ask you about food because you've raised it and the effects of food. And I have to say, when we first went into this COVID situation, I think there was something about it for me that felt like it was a snow day. And it was the day I got to hunker down on the couch and eat my ice cream and Netflix all day. But I did it for like a month.
And the day just kind of went on for a while.
The day just kept, and I know that, I'm a stress eater and I love my carbs when I stress eat and I'm a sweet eater, but I'm having the hardest time getting away from it. So if you did do that, how'd you do it?
I reached my breaking point. I bought a scale. That was the end of it for me. Because, it's funny. You don't realize. And I was the exact same way. It was like every day was like Christmas morning. I'm like, oh, there's ice cream in here. Oh, there's cookies. Oh, I could eat this. And I think I got to a point where I just said, I don't feel good. I've gained weight and it's really hindering my workouts because I felt like when I was running, I felt heavy and I felt like just not good. And so I just put it in check and I stopped buying all that stuff too. So I don't keep any food like that in the house anymore. My one like snacky thing that I do still have is popcorn. I'm a huge popcorn fan.
Plain popcorn? Tell me the secrets.
Well, I do make my own. So I put kernels, just regular popcorn kernels in a brown paper bag and I pop it in the microwave. Sometimes I'll drizzle like a little bit of olive oil or coconut oil on it and some sea salt. And that's it. And I try to control my portions. I think that's a big thing too, is the portion sizes, because we're bored and we are, around the food all the time. So you're eating quantities that you wouldn't normally eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that is true. I think a lot of people are going through that. And then the stress thing too, right? Because right now, we're all crammed into the houses together. Even the least stressed people in the world are stressed. And, for those who are watching, who might be going through relationship difficulties or co-parenting issues, it's so easy to reach for a cookie and feel better in a moment. And then, as you get the sugar crash and all that. So what do? You reach for another cookie.
I think that's the thing too, is that, sorry, I just don't want them to start, they're going to start playing and it's going to be a big mess. I think that knowing, that it can't be something that keeps going on and on forever. How you feel. I always say to people, think about how you're going to feel after you eat that, whatever that thing is. you're going to feel good for 5 seconds when it's in your mouth. It's going to elicit all of those like feel good chemicals in your brain. And then you're going to be so pissed at yourself that you ate it. So the solution is to not have it around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually been easier. I know a lot of people who have their kids in their home and there's kid food around the house. When my stepchildren were home and, you know, you'd have macaroni and cheese and kid food, even if it was organic macaroni and cheese or whatever, you know, there was that easy way to have a bite of this or have a bite of that. But even that adds up. But you're right. I'm trying to clean things out at the moment, but everybody I know, I see a lot of jokes online and I keep posting like the panda, you know, pandas eat 12 hours a day and that's why they call it a pandemic.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You know? Yeah. But there's all these jokes about people gaining weight, but it's honestly the number one thing I'm hearing from people. And then they're getting stressed out about that. But I think it's a symptom of all the stress that we're also feeling and the enforced being stuck at our desk, working all day online. So, and the stress of just our daily lives, not being able to get out and go to the gym like we normally do. Our normal outlets are taken away from us right now.
And I'm finding in my house, my kids are eating a lot more junk than normal. And they've all, you know, I think it's really hard on kids also. And, you know, you don't want to body shame and, you know, and tell them not to eat something. And at the same time, you know, food should not be their primary activity. So it's pretty complicated. So, you know,
it is because you want to have a balance too. You don't, like you said, you don't want to deprive them of something. And I do think we all sort of had that, like, you know, it's a big sleepover for the whole world that like eat pizza and junk food. But I think that just adds to the stress. Like we're already stressed out with this whole situation, that if you put yourself in a place where, I mean, forget the weight gain part of it, but just feeling
lethargy.
Yeah, just not feeling good, and feeling tired and having those like sugar highs and lows. You know, you're eating whether it's carbs or it's, you know, whatever it is. I think that's just going to add to the stress. Like when we do come out of this, we don't want to have to deal with that either and starting like totally all over again. So I think little things that we could do now as we start to kind of come through the other side of this.
I'm glad you're seeing the other side, Jen.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. I mean, I don't know. I hope there's another side to it soon.
Oh, there'll be one. It's just
you don't think it's going to be? You think it's going to be longer than
2 weeks?
Yeah, it's longer than 2 weeks.
I think it's until we have a vaccine. So who knows when that will be?
I mean, we do need to go outside at some point, right? Like,
well, thankfully, the weather is improving for most of us. I don't know about Chicago, Susan, but
Chicago doesn't believe in good weather. I've decided.
It's 70 and sunny here today. I was like, oh, San Diego sounds good. I think they've got that weather all the time.
Like pretty much every day. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. No.
Yeah, that's definitely my speed for weather. No question.
Well, Wendy's made a couple of comments talking about our sedentary lives, sitting, you know, we obviously all living very sedentary lives right now. We probably always did, most of us anyway. So that's not helping. I would also just add that they did some experiments that like sugar can become more addictive than cocaine. I mean,
yes.
I think they did it on rats and they like preferred the sugar over cocaine. Of course, I don't know what rats are.
I believe
what drives them, but. Yeah, but it's interesting because I mean I practice this a lot. I know that proteins, I try to do fish or some sort of bean or quinoa is really good. But I know proteins and like green beans, certain vegetables that are high in fibers. So proteins and fibers are hunger suppressants, right? And that's kind of my way. And also, if I just want to sometimes just kill the hunger and not go graze on something. Just even like herbal tea, just drink an herbal tea down, that warm water actually will kill your hunger. And it's important to kind of detox from sugar. I used to like really love like drinking Sprite, you know, and I remember just changing that. I used to wrestle and the first thing I would do is just eliminate all sugar from my drink, anything I drank. And it was amazing how much weight I would lose right there. Just changing nothing else about my eating habits, just switching to water. And I felt better. I had more energy. Like caffeine becomes like something you just have to have every morning. Like we get addicted to coffee, obviously. but we get in those patterns, and some of those are pretty destructive to our mood. So,
you know, it's interesting. They're always talking about how muffins are really cake. And like, I've been in a habit for years going to this like really amazing little bakery and getting like chocolate peanut butter muffin first thing in the morning. And I was like, you know, then I would hardly eat the whole rest of the day.
Yeah.
So
dessert for breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Just shocking your system right there. Yeah.
Well, and then, so now that I've been home, I've been making like avocado toast with egg or just like all different. And I think the reason I haven't gained weight is because I cut out that big muffin every morning. I mean, like really, like I would have like a bagel with cream cheese and butter. Like you can't eat those things, I guess, right? And
Right.
just not having those, you know, often I'll be like on the phone with a friend of mine. They're like, you know, nobody eats a bagel with cream cheese and butter anymore. Like, what are you doing? I'm like,
Not both.
yeah, both.
Like, I
You're
think
like going whole hog. You're like, I'm not stopping with
Throw some jelly on that.
there too.
No, because the cream cheese has a whole different, anyway.
Yeah.
like, I
What are you gonna say, Jen?
I think the thing to remember is that, you know, a lot of us are a lot more sedentary now. And so
Yeah.
the food, even, you know, even when we are more active, and I'm saying this as a personal trainer, but the nutrition part is 80% of
Yeah.
Absolutely.
the game.
So when you say, I always say abs are made in the kitchen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's 80% diet, 20% exercise.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to move, and you definitely have to do those things that are good for your cardiovascular system and
Sure.
all of that. But yeah, the food. I mean, especially now that we're sitting so much more. One good thing, as far as just you were talking about, like a snack instead of like sugar and stuff that curbs your hunger. Something that I found that I've been doing lately is I slice up an apple because you get the fiber, you get the sweetness, and then I take a little bit of cinnamon and I sprinkle cinnamon on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it tastes like a dessert, and it just kind of, and it's supposedly it boosts your metabolism a little bit too, and it curbs the hunger cravings. So just something to try.
The fiber helps too. Yeah, absolutely.
I find like when you use a lot of texture, like it's actually funny this afternoon. I made a bowl of like plain Greek yogurt with cut up strawberries and then sliced up Turkish apricots and crunched up almonds. And I was eating it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so delicious. And my husband walked into the kitchen. He's like, it's so good, isn't it? But he was talking about like some bison venison chili with cheese, like this whole, and he saw what I was eating. He's like, ew, what are you eating? I was like, this is so good. It tasted like dessert. But anyway, I highly recommend that yogurt mix. It's so many textures, like crunchy, chewy, sweet, sour. It's very sad.
Everybody has their thing. You know, a lot of people like just they need to have something crunchy or need to have something sweet, you know. But the herbal tea and I do this detox tea actually every night after dinner that I love, and it kind of takes away that sweet craving. Or I'll have a piece of dark chocolate.
That's really great. The little piece of dark chocolate is like the best because it's so decadent and it's not actually that bad, and it's pretty sad in a small dose.
Yeah.
Susan, do we have a question from a viewer?
Yeah, well, Matt is saying, my nephew Lucky, he is special needs. He won't stop eating raw, uncooked meats. I don't know how to stop him. And then I'm not sure what this is. I smashed a light bulb on his head. I don't want to tell my brother. I'm not quite sure what that
is. Literally or figuratively?
Yes, I hope it was figuratively. Because, yeah. That's not a very good idea. But I know in certain eating raw uncooked meats might be a sign of a deficiency of some kind. What do you think, Jen? You do have a nutrition degree.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
that could be, you know, that's one of two things. It's either a behavioral issue, and I think you said it's a special needs child. So that could be behavioral, but it could be a sign of an iron deficiency, like a severe iron deficiency. It's called pica. I'm not diagnosing anyone here. I'm not a doctor, but that is something that is real when you crave. Usually, though, you crave non-food things when you are iron deficient. But
what do you mean by non-food things?
Yeah.
Like someone that has a severe iron deficiency could crave dirt Like they want to eat dirt.
Okay. I have heard that.
Yeah. Or they want to chew on ice. It's just something that the body isn't getting. They're not getting enough nutrients. They're not metabolizing or absorbing nutrients. And so you start to crave these non-food. Sometimes it's paper. Very weird. And I have a very good friend of mine who had this, and she wasn't eating dirt or anything, but
she wanted to.
But she wanted to. And she found out that she was severely, like, her iron stores were depleted.
Wow. So interesting.
Strange. Yeah.
But I don't know about
that. That's probably something, I mean, that's a doctor's diagnosis is needed. At least to test for a deficiency or something like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like kids eating glue. I mean, they do some weird things.
Yeah. Well, there's that as well. You know, I was thinking, Jen, about the mic, because I liked the idea of the micro workouts too. Sometimes it just seems overwhelming to have to get up and like plan an entire hour. And my day's so busy right now. The micro workouts sound good. And it also strikes me that for people who are in the home and having to deal with like homeschooling their kids and working and doing the laundry and, you know, their spouse
making dinner
and doing all those things. The idea of micro workouts is actually a fantastic idea for people. Keep a set of weights near your desk, keep a yoga mat in the kitchen. So stir the pasta, do some sit-ups. But can you tell some more about like some of the micro workouts that you've been talking about? Because I think that would be helpful for people.
Yes, I can. Actually, I'm laughing because I was doing this last night. So I love doing laundry. So
come to my house.
Well, because when I'm in the city, when I'm in New York City, I don't have a washer dryer. And so I've been quarantining in New Jersey, and I have a house and I have a washer dryer downstairs. So I get really excited when I get to fold the laundry.
Oh my gosh.
So what I do is I take the laundry in a bedroom downstairs, and I actually, for every shirt, your guys are going to laugh at me. For every shirt that I fold, I do 5 lunges on each leg.
Oh my gosh.
And then for every pair of pants, I do squats. So I kind of assign I really do this. It sounds insane. And now that I'm saying it out loud, it really sounds insane. But that's what I do. So I assign like an exercise for each article of clothing that I fold. So that's one.
That's a great idea, actually. I love it.
A good game.
The other thing is when I'm in the kitchen, I have like a little Google Home, or I guess you could do Alexa or whatever. And I put on 80s music or any kind of music that, you know, you like to move to. And I'm the worst dancer on the planet. I have no rhythm. So if I'm alone in the kitchen by myself, no one can see me, I will like slide around the floor and I'll just dance while I'm cooking. And that's another little micro workout, even if it's like 5 minutes.
That is such a great micro workout. I mean, I'm always telling people on these self-help things, like, I know some of you like listening to music and singing and dancing. So just like pull down your shades and do it for like a couple of minutes, pick a song, you know, like.
And talk about like stress relief. It's such a huge
and it also like exactly, because it changes where you are in your head. Like now you're like in the 80s with your friends, or in the 90s, or in the early 2000s, however old you are, you know. Right. And also micro workouts for your kids. I mean, because my kids can be very sedentary. Just having them go outside, have them like do things around your house, depending where you're living. Obviously, not everybody has an outside. We're very fortunate. We have a trampoline. So I could just send them out for a couple of minutes here and there, just to get them to jump for 5. If you jump 5 minutes, 10 times a day, now they just jump for an hour, which is really good.
That's right.
Right.
I have some girlfriends that I've been Zooming with and doing, I was telling you guys, I'm doing this yoga training now. So I need hours. I need yoga, practice hours. So they've been getting like their families, and I'll do a yoga class for them and their kids, which is really fun. So there's definitely ways to incorporate your kids into your workouts.
Well, the other thing is, like, if they're co-parenting in the same household together and they only get brief spurts of like free time, I think that's the other issue that a lot of people are finding, is just to find 5 minutes alone is a hard time. But so if you're only trying to find, 10 minutes to go off and do some sit-ups for a while, or do lunges and fold laundry, or incorporate it into those activities where you at least might have a little alone time. That's a great idea as well. I hadn't thought of that. I fold a lot of laundry. So,
yeah. Or if you're watching TV, like if I have a show on Netflix or something that I'm watching, if I'm not on the treadmill, which I've been a little bit obsessed with, I watch like 2 seasons of an entire show on the treadmill. But if I'm not doing
oh my gosh,
I'll get on the floor with a mat and just stretch and just do a whole bunch of stretches for like a half an hour while the TV's on, because you don't have to really, pay attention. You can just sort of relax. So you're still relaxing and watching TV, but you're actually doing something good for your body.
Yeah. I think about the people who are sitting there probably in tough relationships. That is not very motivating. And it's like first step. I think that's really hard for people. Mm-hmm. And these are great motivators. I mean, I like your laundry thing. Made me think of when I used to do CrossFit for a little while, and we would have these we just go through a deck of cards, and I don't know, you assigned, like if it was a royal card, you did one kind of, no, it was based on the 4. Yeah, it was 4 different movements, depending on whether it was spades, hearts, clubs, or whatever. And you just start flipping them and try to get through the deck, and however many you want to assign to it or whatever. But it was really fun and motivating. So making a game out of it is a good way. But it is tough because we get worn down, and sometimes it's just important. We got to sharpen the saw, because we're just not as productive as an instrument in our own lives. And so it is important to just take some time for your physical. It's all part of physical, mental, dietary. And I think it's just really conducive to just being successful at everything else in life. You really fascinate me as a person, because I do watch your videos, especially on Instagram, that you post a lot. And it is just, it's remarkable how you've been successful at making this really part of your life since, I guess, your entire life. Or when did you really, really adopt fitness as part of your everything? It's your image now.
I've always been, I've been in this industry in the fitness industry for
20 years.
20
yeah,
years. Right. I gotta change that. I need to change that on my resume so people think of me. But yeah, I've always been active. I was a marathon runner for a long time, and then, sorry, I'm getting dog fur in my mouth. It's attractive. But yeah, I've been in the industry for a long time. And I think that it's sort of switched, after I switched gears after I went through my divorce, after I had some running injuries, all these like little things that sort of, as you get older, or your lifestyle changes or your environment changes, whatever it is, I just kind of found a way to adapt to those things, and just always making it fun and always making it something that I like to do. Because if you don't like to do it, you're never going to do it.
Oh yeah. So we talk about that. Susan and I talk about that all the time. Yeah. Not fun, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard enough to do stuff if it's not fun, which is why we're doing stuff like this.
Yeah. And this is, it's great. And I say this all the time, but I've met so many people, like, you guys, through a horrible experience that I went through, became something that is like, I'm so grateful to have met all the people that I met through that experience. So that doesn't answer your question, but that's just an aside.
It led you down a path where you've helped so many people. I remember when we did our Buy retreat, we were all at the Best You Ever divorce retreat. Was that a year ago?
It was May 18th, because I was just pulling something up from May 18th.
Okay, wow, so it was, oh my God, it was like almost exactly a year ago.
Yeah,
we were all together. And that amazing event, I remember when you got up and spoke, and you really spoke about the difficulty of your divorce and how difficult and hard that was for you. You shared that, and I saw people coming up to you afterwards and hugging you, and one of the big comments we got from attendees after was about your presentation, about talking about that. So your fitness, health, mental wellness, just wellness in general, you've been able to take that from this realm of looking good to really, like, this is a lifestyle. This is going to help you through whether divorce is your difficult time, whether co-parenting is your difficult time, whether dealing with COVID and losing your job or whatever is going on for people right now. These are all coping mechanisms.
That just if you're struggling,
struggling
because, like, you know, sometimes the mundane parts of life are now really hitting you in the face because you're not moving around as much. So all of our busyness, I shouldn't say all, but many of our businesses has really subsided. And so now, you know, when you have to face yourself, that might be a great time to start meditating with Jen.
Yeah. She does good meditation.
But yeah, I mean, to your point too, I think that, you know, in transitioning from fitness the way I got into it 20 years ago to the way it is now, it has also changed in a huge way. It's more about just, it's much less about the vanity. And there's certainly people out there that are, you know, they want to do it for that reason, and that's fine too. But it's so much more about your mental health and your well-being, and, you know, staying fit as you age is so, I never thought I'd be talking about aging. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
How did that happen?
Hey, diet and exercise help with that. So
that's right. And look,
that's right.
Everyone's going to age. It's just, you know,
hopefully.
Yeah.
That's
so
right. Hopefully.
I think that taking care of yourself is huge. And through this, being able to help other people who have been through similar experiences that I've been through, or any kind of a tough transition, I think that just having them understand, and it's a tough start. It's really hard to take that first step, and all you need is that first step. And then you are like, you're in a groove, you're like feeling good. You know, that the habits start to kind of stick, and doesn't have to be anything overwhelming. You know, I'm not training you to run a marathon.
Yeah.
And you were in a situation that you could have let turn really ugly, and you took the high road and did not. So, you know, you really have danced the dance. Well, listen, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. How soon after the divorce did you land the Kelly Live at Kelly and Ryan show?
Oh,
it's kind of changed over the years.
Probably, I guess about a year later.
Wow.
That was, yeah.
That's really,
I started to
pretty
train.
solid score there.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was nice. And again, like through having dogs, I was able to meet people in that little community too. One of them happened to be a producer for Kelly and Ryan. And
is that how you guys met?
So funny. Some people meet by smoking cigarettes. Some people meet by walking their dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we met through the dogs, and then she got a bunch of other producers on board to start taking a class with me in Central Park, which I hope we could get back to
someday.
And so we've been doing little segments here and there, trying to get them to have me back on to do a remote, you know, a virtual segment. So we'll see.
That's actually a great idea.
And was that before or after the Rachel Ray appearance?
way after. Rachel Ray was long before. Yeah.
Okay.
But wait a minute, didn't Kelly and Ryan, weren't you voted like the viewer's choice? Do I not remember that?
I do remember that.
I was. That was a lot of Facebook marketing on my part and social media pushing.
I voted.
Having a big Italian family to vote for you. But
no, that was a great. I still remember that segment. That was a lot of fun. Actually, I had it on my website for a while. That was fun. But, you know, and when you were just talking about the exercise and the mood and all of that, I was thinking about something that I've noticed now that, so I just, I'm a soul cycler. That's my thing. I like that high intensity thing. And I just got their app so I can do that at home. And there's something about, I get up first thing in the morning and I go down and do that and start my day that way. And I don't know if there's an endorphin thing that gets released with high intensity but my whole day is better if I start that. And all I have to do is do it one day. And then I want to get up and do it the next day. But it's hard that first day.
You're addicted to that feeling. It's that adrenaline rush that we get from high intensity exercise is addictive.
Yeah.
but it's taking
Yeah.
that first step and doing it that first time.
It takes a while before it becomes that addictive feeling. I mean, I think you need to be in that groove and force yourself through the first, I mean, through the soreness and through the,
Oh, sure.
yeah, but if you can get through, what is it to form a habit? What, 21 days or something like this? If you can get through that, it will become a part of your life. In fact, you will be upset at yourself if you miss it.
Yeah.
It's just about getting there. And food's a big part of that too. The foods you eat can help that a lot. I do a collagen protein with these organic like berries, and then I put some turmeric in there and blend that sucker up with some almond milk or something like this. You know, I do that and in the mornings, and I don't know. That's my stimulant, and it I think is helpful. I think it really is.
I think when you put healthy things in your body, you just can't help but feel good instead of instead of your bagel with cream cheese and butter.
and butter, yes.
Listen, now I have avocado toast and two poached eggs.
Good.
That sounds
and
good.
And then yogurt with nuts and
apricots.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Turkish ones that are not like the big ones, like the ugly apricots.
Yeah.
The ugly ones.
And strawberries.
There's nothing better than strawberries.
Really good. See how well I've transformed my eating through the pandemic?
You must be doing Fresh Start Fitness.
Well, I had foot surgery, so I'm.
That's right. We're gonna get you there, though.
Yeah, I took a walk this afternoon with my youngest. He rode his bike. We walked about 2 miles, and then I was like, okay, my foot's done. It was a little something.
Yeah, good.
It feels good just to get the fresh air, though. That's the other thing is, there are actual entire days with COVID where I have not left days in a row where I don't leave my house at all.
I have the same thing. The other thing is I usually do a lot of push-ups, and now I'm doing one-legged push-ups. So I'm like, well, I'm going to be like a little lopsided, but
You can do them against the wall or on a chair or something, so you don't put so much pressure on your foot.
I just hold one leg up.
Okay, or do that.
I mean,
why don't you hold one leg and one arm and make it really interesting?
It would be really cool if I could do that. I've thought about that. I feel like I could probably do it if I would mentally sort of like get my core engaged a little more, right?
Get abs like Jen's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jen can probably just
Michael
with no legs.
No, I don't know. Remember
when Michael was like,
ruin of my
I'm
one
in
self.
such a bad mood. I really can't stop working out.
Yeah. Wait, remember the video that he put? Everybody go to Michael's Instagram and see the thing where he is like on a pole, like holding himself sideways on the
Michael
pole.
can probably do push-ups. Don't involve his legs.
It's all my pole dancing days.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with the topic, but we just watched the Jerry Seinfeld thing last night on Netflix. Oh my God, absolutely hysterical. But there's a whole thing about the Chris Rock and keep your daughter off the pole. Oh no, that was Billion. Sorry, that was Billion.
Keep your daughter off the pole.
That's what it reminded me of. Well, Chris Rock has that whole comedy segment about keeping your daughter off the pole.
Chris Rock's awesome. I mean, he's just so funny.
Yeah,
good for you.
So you can tell I'm watching too much Netflix. I just outed myself.
You know what's weird is that Netflix is. I don't think shows are being made right now. Like the new season in the fall is going to come on, and there's not going to be any new stuff, right? No,
my TV show just got pushed off till October, and I don't know if it'll even happen then. I mean, I think that's aspirational. We're supposed to film in Montreal, and it was supposed to be at the end of next month, and now it's the end of October, and I bet it's next year. So,
well, this is the thing, like all the conferences, everything. It's like
everything.
I was just told that the conference in Hawaii, they think, oh, well, it's still going to happen, but you would have to quarantine for 2 weeks in Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
Like, I don't think I can do that. So
it doesn't sound bad.
Doesn't, but
I can do that.
I'll go for you.
I go. How quickly can I get a law degree?
Exactly.
We can wing it.
That's right.
Yeah, I was thinking, it's just talking about things you watch on Netflix. And Jen, do you know of any like documentaries or anything like that might scare people into being motivated into getting it together?
Yeah, that McDonald's one.
Yeah, right. Like I think it's Super Size Me or something.
Yeah, but
right?
that one's a
Yes,
little over the
Super Size
top.
Me. Oh my gosh, there's one called What the Health. If
Oh,
you
What the
watched
Health?
What the Health,
No, I've seen that
have
one.
you seen it?
Yes.
That is, I've been recommending that to everyone. In fact, my boyfriend watched it with me. We watched it a while ago, a few months ago, I guess, several months ago now. And he stopped eating meat completely. He lost 15 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That'll
also,
change your mind on a
it
lot of
will,
things.
especially if you have any kind of family history of heart disease or cancer or anything like that. But yeah, that's a good one. And actually, last night I just watched one. I'm not sure that this would scare anyone, but it's like just a very cool documentary called the Barclays Marathons. Have you guys heard of this? Actually, it wasn't on Netflix. It was on Amazon Prime. And it's this race in Tennessee, this marathon in Tennessee.
I'm taking notes.
It's like there's 5 loops and it's over 100 miles. And there's only been, I think 5 people since it started, maybe 8 people since it started in 1987 that have finished it.
Wait a minute. Do they run overnight?
Yeah.
For like 5 days in a row, they just keep running?
Yeah. They
Whoa,
stop, they refuel. A lot of them drop out. Like they call the first 2 loops, which is probably, let's see, what is it, 26?
54 miles.
Something like that. Or first 2 loops or first 3 loops. They call it the fun run. It's so crazy, but it's
So hold on, each loop is how many miles?
Each loop is like it's very vague. They say 26 miles ish, give or take. Okay. But it's all through, and you're not running the whole thing because you just can't. Like some of it is like you're going up these climbs that are just insane.
Wow.
And the guy that started it, you should. It's really like.
I gotta see this.
It's crazy. Very quirky kind of. The people that apply to do it are interesting. Let's just say that.
I'm sure they are.
I was just going to say that would take, just the concept of it would take a strength of will that I don't know that most people have. So, wow.
I don't think it's healthy to stay up that long, 5 days. I mean,
you
need to sleep.
Lack of sleep alone, right?
They do sleep.
Sleeping's a big. Okay, yeah, because sleeping's like a big part of weight loss. Like getting your 8 hours in is a big part of all of that. I mean, it's so important.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
This is a super extreme event that's not meant to be like for any. It's just
replicated by any other human beings.
Kinda, it's just like a crazy, random thing that's out there, and I guess it's been going on for years, and I'd never heard of it. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
There's a lot of information out there. I mean, between Netflix and Amazon Prime and, just everything. I mean, there's actually a lot of great, there's been a lot of great podcasts and things out there that have covered just a myriad of different topics around COVID, but also coping with COVID and just some of the stresses. Like Gab came on my show to talk about online mediation, but beyond even the divorce scope, I mean, they've really been putting out a lot of content around all the different areas, health and mental health. There's a lot of mental health issues that are really being exacerbated under the current conditions for people.
Right.
Absolutely.
Which is why we thought it'd be really great to have you on, Jen, to talk about, like you have been, about health and nutrition and wellness and the micro bursts of exercise and, Fresh Start Fitness and all the stuff that you have to offer that people who are watching Michael, can learn from you. So happy that you were able to fit us into your pandemic schedule.
Yes.
It's easier to get guests now because everyone's stuck at home.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I hope it was helpful, and I, encourage anybody that has questions to reach out to me. I'm happy to offer any kind of advice that I can as far as nutrition or fitness goes.
Well,
we'll put your handles in the comments below. But do you want to go ahead and let everybody know what they are?
Yeah, sure. At my Instagram is at Jen Giamo, JenNGiamo. Excuse me, Mister. Facebook is Trainers in Transit. And that's basically where you can find me. My website's also trainersintransit.com. There's a link to Fresh Start Fitness on there as well. And then I can send you, if you'd like the playbook link, I can give people a code for a discount for playbook too.
I'm a fan.
And if they do playbook, they get access to you and all other kinds of things as well.
Yeah. It's very cool.
And there's constantly new things coming on there. So you can't say you can't find a workout. You can find a workout.
There's so many workouts on
there. Is
there.
there music in it?
There's all different kinds of stuff. So some people are doing like dance-based workouts and there is music. Jen's are usually where she's showing like you're going to do a certain number of exercises in a certain row, and then she demonstrates each one for you. So I'm there in my gym usually with my phone, you know, and my headphones on. It's great.
And then
but you can do it at home too. There's body weight ones where you don't need equipment.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thank
we really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you have a beautiful home and some beautiful puppies there.
Thank you. Yeah, they're getting a little anxious. I think it's either feeding
dinner time or potty time.
They're walking out, but I have a client at 6, so they're going to have to wait either way for either of those things.
All right. Well, you have a great week, and we'll see everybody next Thursday at 5 Eastern.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, Jen. Bye, Gab. Bye, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.